What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 56 of the walkthrough. So, with last episode, we have officially made it to the mountaintops of the Giants and the start of the very, very long end game. So, before we get going on mountaintops of the Giants, the only thing really I would like to get in with you guys is from this point forward. It's like I said, we're getting to the end game. You should not go past this point without a fully upgraded weapon. If you have went through the walkthrough, we've got you all the materials to bring up almost two sombers to plus 10. You should have at least one plus 10 weapon somber, maybe three others at plus 9, whether that be a shield, talisman, a weapon, or a few different weapons, whatever. And then as far as a regular weapon, you at least can get one to plus 25. So aside from that, you're going to want, obviously, your final armor set, whatever's going to save you the most weight, and every talisman that's going to complement your build the best possible way. So I'll usually go a few for utility, like that's weight, that's runes, which we don't need anymore. We can put on something else. But that's boosting my spells. That's boosting my, my physical damage. And then I'm not so worried about, we'll be using mana a lot more. Let's kind of put on that for now until we get something else. Aside from that, your stats should not be all over the place. They need to be dialed in. So at this point, our base stats are done. 50 health, 25, 25 mind, endurance. We're doing strength, faith. So strength, we're working up still at 34. Faith is at 50, right? So arcane, dex, intelligence have nothing here. You do not want your stats staggered around, guys. It's going to work against you. I cannot say that enough. Aside from that, we are ready to go. So once we got here at the end of last episode, we just rode up the Grand Lift Road. You got your map like right here. We got Ura's set, which is sitting right here because the order we've done things. So you got that armor set, and then we'll be starting from the Zamor ruins. So getting into the Zamor ruins, for one, the only thing here, there's like 2 loose consumables to spell as you go through, but the only real thing's back. So what we're going to do is take the road and just run straight to the back. Other than that, it's just not consumables, but crafting. I will say all the crafting here are very specific to the zone. You can't really find them anywhere else. So I would highly recommend you guys pick all this up, even if it's something you might not think you'll ever want to craft. You don't know. You're going to go through late game and the DLC for that matter, get new weapons and spells and everything. You might want to respec, or you might find a use for some type of consumable, right? So pick it up. Now, Zamor Ruins is going to be filled with the Knights of Zamor that you fought in the Evertail and the Looping, and then we fought one in Altus as bosses. But as basic enemies, they're actually a lot worse because you're fighting multiple, variants of them, and they are fucking tough, dude. Don't let this fool you either. Not every level, or not every enemy here is this high level. I mean, this is kind of where we are right now, but not everybody's going to be hitting like these guys. Now, when we get into the ruins, we're not going to fight these guys because it's going to take you fucking 20 tries. There's going to be like 5 of them on you at once. You're going to get wiped out in 2 seconds flat. So what we're going to do is just stick on torrent, get the items, and get out. We always clear our areas in full. This is the exception to the rule. The one time we're not going to clear our area is right here. It's just too much of a waste of time, in my opinion, with so much to cover this episode. So as you go on up, just go right here. Now you can't get out, so you have to just jump over the wall, go straight, and your spell will be right here. Frostbite spell for mage builds. Really dope. Zamor Ice Storm, pretty much the same thing those guys were doing. And then, if you go out the back, take a right, you can kind of loop around, and your stairs for your bell bearing will be right here. Now, this is a really dope bell bearing. In fact, we got 2 bell bearings this episode. This one is going to let you get infinite 5 and 6 smithing stones. So now you'll have 1 through 6 infinite amounts. That means you can bring any weapon you want up to plus 18 at least for, here on out. So we still have a few more bell bearings to get. 1 for each. Now, if you want to try to fight these guys, I just try to line them up, but it's not needed, guys. It's not needed. Now there is one more item to get, which is a sliver of meat, which is nothing crazy. So if you were to just climb up the stones here, this is above the Grand Lift Road for anyone thinking there might be something here. There's not. There's a sliver of meat, and then there's crafting stuff, but that's it. You're not missing anything. There's no upgrades, no rooms, just nothing here. Besides just one item. Seems to never pick up anytime I come this way. The birds are different aesthetically, meaning the design is a bit different, but they're the same birds as always. They're not doing anything different. Now with that wrapped up, we get rid of our marker. And all we're doing is taking the main road, and we're going to follow around this cliff, and we're eventually going to shoot out this way here. One thing really we need to worry about is the scarab. You can hear him. There's a lot of health scarabs, but there's one scarab with a somber 7. He's usually hanging from the cliff. You have to go up top first. So you can see the statue pointing to a catacomb. The catacomb's actually on the far side underneath you. So don't let that throw you off. You're not missing it. It's not right here. As you start proceeding, eventually you'll see where you go up to the right. Then you're going to see a downward slope and an upward slope. Up here is crafting if you're worried about it, but down here, definitely hit him. Get your scarabs. That's your somber 7. Funny, it was like the only somber 7 you could not find anywhere. Once you get to the capital, you get a shit ton of them. We've already got around 15, but with the daggers, the weapons, talismans, and everything, shield, everything that we've upgraded, we still have like 10 left, so we're fine. Like I said, if you're worried about crafting, you can go up top there. Then right here, smoldering butterfly, then we're just going to wrap around the mountain. Oop, be careful. Didn't mean to go so fast, by the way, but you can't miss, you just wrap around. So, from here, we're pretty much on top of this cliff. Now, with that being said, this comes later, by the way. With that being said, this part can be a bit tricky. So you have a prelate down there, big old fire dude. He is super, super beefed up. He's using a whip now instead of a great hammer. So you can buff the whip with fire, and then it does massive amounts of blood loss. The bigger thing is the reach with the whip. It's absurd. I mean, he could literally do like fucking 20 foot of reach with it. So I like to try to clear these guys out for sure. Sometimes you're not able to pull it off before you get to you because, like I said, it's reach. But you want to try to important because the guy doesn't need any fucking help. You know what I mean? The guy does not need any help. Usually I like to try to buff up, but he doesn't always give you the time to do so. Yeah, roll right into it. Look up. Get back, and fire and blood loss as we got to do. You can farm his stuff here, but we'll get his stuff other places like that helm. It's really cool. We're actually going to get a weapon with like that head planted on it, so it'll shoot fire everywhere, but it's a great hammer, I guess it would be. And you can get his armor set too, but you gotta like farm him. But yeah, we get some of his pieces going around the world, so don't get it twisted. It's just further in my notes, so I don't want to be too confident about it. But I know you can farm them, and I'm pretty sure we get the armor regardless. Just don't hold me to it, because I've gotten it before on my character I was taking notes with, but I can't remember if I was like trying to farm it up to get everything, or if I actually, found it. So I'd have to go through later notes to find out, because it's like 2 episodes away. But regardless, you can get it somehow or another if you want it bad enough. I know for sure we get like the weapons, and you can get the helm and all that stuff. Now if you get the helm, it's not going to do that. The weapon I'm talking about is, like I said, it's a great hammer, so it's like a big stick, and someone cut off one of those guys' heads with that helm on, so it will shoot fire everywhere, and it does fire damage. You get it in the hero's grave. I think it's right here, which we just get to from a later path. But like the helm, when you get that, it's not going to do none of that fancy shit. It just looks cool. Alright, so these are the catacombs that we're pointed at. In case anyone did get lost, I would like to pull up the map. So that takes you on out to the real start of Mountaintops of the Giants. This is all like the precursor area. So that's where we started. Remember those same more ruins we just went through? All we did was curve our way around, and it led us like right here. And then we just dropped to the right hand side coming out, and that brought you down here. So I mean, just in case it was hard to follow for anyone, I know it's kind of a clusterfuck on the map. but it shouldn't be that bad. Now, moving forward, we are going to want to go ahead and craft at least 5 Thawfrost boluses. You're going to be dealing with a few enemies here that do so much frostbite, it will literally one-shot you if it builds up, so we need to be able to cleanse that. Now, this was picked up. That's why I tell people to follow along. It's important. This was not a cookbook you find in the world. You have to buy it, and you would have bought it. Ansel River at the Old Palace Ruins. It was Ansel River, well, depths, yep. That brought you right here, Old Palace Ruins. So when you went down, there's like the waterfall blocked off on the right. You just kind of followed it to the main area. Well, there was a structure there with a merchant. I told you guys, pick it up. We're not going to need it for fucking 50 hours, but trust me, we need it, right? So that's where that is. Now, going in here, this place is a pain in the dick if you don't know what you're doing. So you're going to have these assholes, always. But this is another trick catacomb. This is one of those where it's like 2 catacombs conjoined, and you keep getting shot from one to another, and it's really, really confusing. We did one called Azuro Sideshow, and then we did the Lindell catacombs. Those were your trick catacombs up to this point. What's another setup like that? It's not gonna teleport you back and forth between a bunch of chests, but it is very confusing. It's just kind of like a spiral. You just keep going, and you can chase your tail around a bit if you're not careful. If you don't know what to do. But honestly, the way I found out in my notes to do it, most of the time you're just making it more difficult than it needs to be. All you really have to do is just keep going a straight path, winding around, and it seems like it's wrong. And I guess that's what gets you, but that's what gets you through it, you know what I mean? And you'll see that play out. Either way, guys, once we get down, the first little secret here is to send this back up. Well, it doesn't, it just looks like this huge hole down there. You can actually get here. So there's a hidden little cart on the bottom of the lift. Typically, I guess you'd probably do this last. That way you could just fast travel out of it. But it's a big pain in the ass, so I figured we'd just do it first. Now, good news is there is a Stake America down here, so if you get killed 5,000 times, you will be able to just start from the beginning, and you don't have to run through that every time. One of the most important things is you're going to need a dagger or bow of some kind. It doesn't have to be anything that does damage, nothing fancy, just some kind of bow. And you'll see why here very shortly. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. Or a throwable item could be, like throwable daggers like kukri or something like that. Alright, so the big stone cats you fought 1,000 times, those are now here doing magic and frostbite. So under the stairs we'll get our Glover. Then we're trying to take this guy down. So we want like guard counters, we want charge heavy to get him off. Look at that. Just one hit. You're looking at 50% health. Charge heavy. Guard. Here. One more. Nope, broke a stagger. Come on. Thank you. Not quite done yet. Alright, so from this point, do not go forward. This is going to shoot frost. I guess we'll show it. That shoots frostbite out. This ship will fucking annihilate you quickly. Now, what we're going to do is use our arrow, throwing daggers, whatever you got, and we're going to drop that down. Now we're going to go into the left. Watch out for the trap on the floor. Although you could use it to your advantage, I guess, because you've got a couple of douchebags coming for you. Yeah. There you go. Make life a little bit easier. Thank you. All that for a Glover. All that for a Glover. A great Glover at that. Alright. So from here, once again, shoot that down. Don't get too close. And if you end up dying, these won't raise back up, so you're good there. Now, as we go down, this is going to be an illusionary wall here on the right-hand side. With your buddy in. Get you another Glover. And it's almost worth it to make this guy chase you than use an arrow and raise this up, because this guy's a dick. Like, this one is super beefed up for whatever reason. Run, 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 run. Yeah, you see that? That frostbite's just ripping him to shreds. If you don't want to fight him, you can do that. But that frostbite procs on him, it's going to fuck him up as bad as it fucks you up. And I found this out when I was taking notes. I never knew this before. Because he did frostbite, well, I'm like, oh, he's probably immune to it. But he's not. Takes a bit, but it's safer by far. As I said, we use the stuff in the game to our advantage sometimes. I don't know why it's not proccing frost. Alright, let's try to get to the right. Oh, you're a bitch. Look at her fucking health, guys. It does not get closer than that. Alright. Now we got that. And you could have just let the frostbite finish him off. I was like, this is fucking taking forever. But you're going to get the fire monk ashes. And this is not like one of those special platforms that drops or, you know, any kind of hidden secret like that. Now, why this is best to do it last is then you'd be able to just fast travel out. Fortunately, we will not be able to do this. We're going to have to run back. I mean, honestly, it's not that far. So, but yeah, typically you do it last. That way you can just fast travel out. Because you have to ride the lift back up. But good news is it's done. It's a pain in the ass. But it will no longer be a pain in the ass for us. We never got to do it again unless you go through the game again. You know, if you go through another playthrough and you want to do 100% of everything, yes, you're going to have to do it. But, and which one was it? It was the one with the fire mace. So it's not a bad choice. Not the best choice. It's like an early game enemy, but not bad. If you want to toy around with different summons. So going on in, obviously that's your boss door. This is where things get a little bit more confusing and challenging. So in here, there's 3 imps that refill magic pots at you. Yeah, like how quick they can wipe you out. So you gotta be aggressive. Try to get them down quickly. And the third. The other thing is, I do wish we could have rested to get resources back. Because, I mean, we're going down here with 6 heals. But I think we'll be alright. If we're careful. If we're careful. Now from this point, just to state, this is not anything. I know we saw one, so you might think there's another, and there is, but that's not it. I'm gonna look at my notes because there's a few gank traps here. Yep. So like I said, this is essentially a trick catacomb where it's like 2 catacombs you run back and forth. They look identical. They're kind of just like stacked on top of each other. So you're going to go through areas that look identical to this later. Now the first one has a really big jar. It's going to drop down. The second one does not. And the jars here are regular jars. On the second catacomb you get teleported to, those are going to be explosive jars. So that's one way to tell them apart. Probably the best way. And I will point out the subtle differences as we go through so you know. But if you just follow along, you guys will be fine. Then you gotta keep in mind to do it in YouTube videos so if you get confused, rewind it and go through it again. But we're gonna move slow, really slow. Unless we have to. Sometimes you can't go slow because things are trying to kill you, but you know what I mean. Either way, so far all we've done is go straight forward. So now you're getting into some bullshit. So there's a bunch of explosive pots here. You want to try to time the trap so you can just run through. That way they're all exploding behind you. They're not going to give you any grief. Now they could drop shit sometimes. Yeah, they do that capture health too. But sometimes when they die they drop stuff, but there's no like top paths that you can ride the blade up like the other catacombs, so nothing to worry about. If you guys want to kill them, you can. That way you know the difference. So when you go through here, you're going to see these little puffers, poison puffers, I guess we'll call them. Well, in this catacomb, they're all small. In the next catacomb, there's a bunch of small ones. One gigantic one, almost as small as the ceiling. That is. way we can try not to get poisoned. You know, sit back. Is he alive still? No, they just don't dissipate. Alright. So once you see them, like I said, if you take them out, room and see more, and you didn't die, you know that you're somewhere different. Now, this is our path forward, but we're not going to take it just yet. Probably a little over halfway through, or about halfway through, so we should be alright. Boss here is just ulcerated tree spirit, so not too bad. Now this hole you can just drop and you're fine. As soon as you drop down, you have an item right here. Now this is the part that starts not just getting confusing because you're about to enter a different catacomb. It's also very dangerous. So there's a bunch of smaller pots here that like to explode. I wanted to see if we could try to get a hold of them from here, but I don't think we can. Well, maybe. If they could take a few of each other out, it's going to make your life much easier. So they could actually kill you through the wall if they explode. That's one of the parts that makes it very difficult. It's happened to me recently. Is that one? Yep. And he took down another. Yep, and that one's down. So from this point, there's some left, or at least won't be many. You don't have to do that. I was just trying to think ahead. Otherwise, you have to run and try to dodge them, and every time they hit you, you know what's going to happen. Half your health, right? So, 2 hit you, that's it. But as you see, we are cleared. Now, from this point, what we're going to do is we're going to ignore this path for now. We really do need to take this path, but for now, we're going to ignore it and go this way. I'm going to show you why. This is a different area. Looks the same, very much different. Alright, good. God, the range is so impressive. Alright, moving forward, we'll take Big Bro, or he'll take us. Weird. When I was double checking my notes today, before this episode for like navigation reasons to make sure we had, you know, the least confusing paths and all that stuff, I've never seen him do that buff before. He's never got it off. And I was like, what the fuck, is this new? And maybe it's not. I just usually kill him much quicker. So remember, you killed all these puffers. Yet, they're still alive. That's because you're not in the same place, guys. Save a little bit of our juice. If you guys want to keep the big one alive, God, look at that. If you want to keep the big one alive so you know where you are, you can. As much damage as he does, yeah, we're definitely spamming Ashen War. Even though I speak against it, sometimes, dude, this shit's a pain in the ass, so. There's going to be a few imps. One typically, where are they? I know they like blend in. Or is it the other path? There's usually one up top. Hidden in the corners. Okay, it might be the final path I'm taking up. Alright, either way, just be careful. Quickly. Slow work. Grab that. Now from here, when you head out, you're going to see another drop. So this drop's different. There's going to be 2 ledges. So just get straight to that wall. Straight to this wall. So you actually land on it. Then this hole was actually the first one. So it just drops you in the same place. So this time, if you drop down, you just went full circle, right? And if you were to take a right, you're going to go to this left, ride this up. This is not the entrance. Which it better not be. I might have to check my navigation. It shouldn't be. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, so they're so sneaky. We're on course. Now, if you notice, all we did was just go straight through and just follow it, follow it, follow it. So it's more confusing than it needs to be. And that's what I think it is. Like, my first time, I think I made it more difficult than it had to be. You know what I mean? Like, backtracking, and I saw two different drops. I thought they were different when they're actually very much the same. This is hardly fucking time, to be honest. You might just be getting things to death because I don't want to die right away. Come on. So this one heals you much quicker. The madness ones, they heal you much quicker than regular warming stone. It's actually the first time I used one, but I have one heal. And like I said, we're right at the end. So trying not to use it. Like I said, not really worth your time. I mean, it is a Grave Glover at 9, one of the very final upgrade mats for your regular summons, but still, dude. For all that trouble, probably not, worth it the most. Alright, now once you got that, all we're going to do is backtrack down here. If you notice, we have been through pretty much the entirety of this place. Still haven't found a lever, right? That's because, remember I told you there's one more trick left. So what we're going to do is walk on, walk off. So it looks like the one at the start that did not have a drop, however this one does. So we're going to drop attack him. He might try to buff himself too. He's another one that can do it. Yep. Now, we do not want to drop down. Do not want to drop down. We are going to drop there, but we're not doing it yet, guys. You're going to miss your lever. You got to go all the way through there again. I mentioned that because I damn near did. Now, you're back in the first catacomb right now, in case you guys did not realize this. That's where that big pot fell at you at the start. So, roll off. Now, if you guys remember the first time, we ignored that so we can go through here, right? So you are, all lined up and good to go. Now from here, what we're going to do is pull our lever. Like I said, you're going to notice that that is very much the first one again. So you know where to go. Confusing, right? It seems like we just came from up, but it was like a different hidden portion. It seems to be right here, but it's not. I mean, it is. It's super fucking confusing. But you're gonna notice you have your dead dude right here. That's who you killed when you came in. But yeah, that's 100% complete on the catacomb side for the boss. I'm not gonna. Damn, the side of grace is so far away, though. Well, you know what? If we die. I have too many souls. I'm being lazy. We're probably going to die here. Ulcerate Tree Spirit. We have one fucking heal. I'm going to do my best with it. So, yeah. Before you guys go in here, buff him if you got him. We fought Ulcerate Tree Spirits before. We do not need a guide for this. We do not need a guide for this. But he does do a lot of fucking damage, and he's always fucking obnoxious. It's not that easy. Yeah, not that hard to get killed. Stay put. Thank you. Never get away from that. And there you are. So that's your next Glowvort. So that's 1 through 6 on your Glowvorts. Now from here, we're going to jump to the Bestial Sanctum as you did, you picked up your next Death Root. You still got the best rewards coming from this guy. You guys may have forgot because it's been a while, but trust me, you get your best rewards from this guy. There you go. Beast Claw Greyhammer. This actually goes with our build. It would do more holy. It would be, you know, strength based, but it'd be holy physical. But man, is it good, dude. It does so much poise damage. Solid ass Astro Boar. I wish we could get it earlier in the game. If we could, I'd probably would have recommended this one. Or another choice if they came earlier. But yeah, really nice, you know, beefy, heavy hits. Light attacks come out quick for what it is. Got that colossal moveset. Then the Astro Boar. Beast Claw, baby. But yeah, it's super good. Super, super, super good. So physical, like I said, holy, your quality faith. So I think you could lean either way with it. It's super, super good choice. A little heavy. Not really at 9. It's funny, because when you swing it, I was just actually assuming it was heavy, but ours is like 14 pounds. That was only 9. Doesn't make any sense, does it? Alright, so I think we got like 1, 2 more death roots. I have to look at my notes, but I think it's only 1, so we can get our ancient dragon smithing stone. But either way, now that we got that done, where would be the quickest spot? Yeah, it would still be giant mountaintop catacombs. We also have 2 bell bearings to turn in. We'll do this at the end of the episode. There's not much else that we do have planned for this episode, but there's a few things. I was honestly assuming this would take longer. I'm glad it didn't. Push this up to 35. If you want to fight these guys again, you can. Now remember, there's a golem with a great bow. There are items on little drops just to go through, so you want to try to time the drops so you don't get hit. If you do, just heal through it. You know, get back up and keep pushing. You see one item right over here in the chair. And don't get me wrong, you could also just... He ain't seen it yet. If he does, you can crouch down behind stuff. Where is it? Alright, it's up more. There's another drop you can take, like one's right here. So if it gets to you, you see what I'm saying? You can protect yourself. Watch his timing. Trying to crouch around the rock, I didn't have the, you know, time to pull it off. Yeah, just seal through it, y'all. Just seal through it. There's a side of grace right past him. Like, right at him. And when we get up here, we're going to take him out. I think he's a one and done. He does not respawn like some of the others. He also doesn't have the armor on his ankles either. You better give it to me, Nick. Thank you. Alright, so with him taken out, we'll be getting on into Millicent's questline a little bit more. Hers doesn't end to the end of the game, the Haley Tree, very end of the game. So you still have a few more, you know, a few more steps with her. Now, there's not much in this lower portion. There's a few items. As you go along, definitely pick up the crafting. Like I said, it is very unique to this area, so I'm not going to have anywhere else to get it besides Consecrated Snowfield, sure. But, you know, in your cold regions, that's it. So you're going to see a rope little structure here that leads you up. That's how you progress. Before we do so, like I said, there's a few things to get. Not just crafting, although mainly crafting. Cotton, where are you at, little fucker? There he is. This is a good one. Get your 8. I do believe we're about caught up. Yeah. Essentially, all you're doing is like a big loop. Make sure you're checking, you know, around and under all the structures. go up there? Yeah, we're good. It just loops around, you know, on top of itself for the most part. When you're going up over here to the left-hand side, your side of grace, and then the middle of that. We're gonna go ahead and exhaust her dialogue.
To think we'd meet in such a place. What could your purpose possibly? No. I know well enough who you are. And what I know is good enough for me. Call upon me again. In battle. Should you have the need. I'm searching for a fort to the north of the ruins. I heard the master of the fort was given a medallion that allowed him to visit the Halig tree. Indeed. I believe that is where Melania will be found. The Halig tree is hidden somewhere in these northern lands.
Alright, so she's just kind of giving you the idea that you have to find the consecrated snowfield. So like I said before, consecrated snowfield's right here. However, it's down a mountain into another mountain range, so you can only get to it from a hidden access point to the rolled lift. So this lift will also take you over here. However, you need a special medallion, right? And we have half of it. We get the other half right here at Castle Saul. Now, that's next episode. When you get here, you're going to notice where you are. There's like a top of a cliff here, top of a cliff here. You get this whole upper section. This drops down below with the castle. And then over here is the Great Lake, which will take you to the rest of the mountaintops of the Giants. So before we wrap up this episode, we're just going to go down this valley here. And we're going to shoot all the way to the left. Just knock out everything here in the water on the left-hand side. And that's probably where we'll wrap up at. Because everything to the right, you know, we're going to need a full episode for. You know, that's just how it is because there's so much going on. Now, good news is, with this, we will be able to wrap up the Volcano Manor questline this episode. We have that last invasion to do, which gets you another set of armor that's super, super dope. Get up. Yeah, we're just kind of going around, make sure we have everything. Atria, which we all know how rare those are, so we're good there. Oh, we dropped down to that from above. That's right, that's right. Okay, we're good. So when you get up here, there's going to be some pretty beefed up golems. You can fight them, you can ignore them. We will need one to break a statue, but he's a little bit further up, so I won't worry too much about him. Right here's the frozen lake, so everything straight, or, you know, to the right side of it over here. That's what we're doing next episode. So what we're going to do is go to the left side instead. So you will have some misbegottens, bats, or demi-humans rather, just, you know, little dudes to deal with, nothing too crazy. Although there's a handful of them. So like I said, it's just to the left-hand side. If you guys want to put a marker, you know, feel free to do so. You can put one right here, or you can put one at the end. That's where we're going. But I highly doubt you're going to miss it. You know what? Very briefly, let's go ahead. This shield works wonders with a lot of the bullshit we're up against in, you know, Mountaintops of the Giants as far as like the invasion and NPC fights. It works very, very well. Very well, and may actually make the difference for you as enemy hits just kind of bounce off. Look how strong the regular bats are. Isn't that wild? Level 1 character limb grade. Unupgraded weapon was one shot. You know, for what you were at in that region as far as enemy health and stuff. Here you are plus 10 weapon, level 130. It's taken so much just to put one little bat down. That's why we're spending time taking all this strip wrap out. We don't need anyone else involved. We really, really don't. So yeah, blood loss enemy using a blood loss whip. It's not, you know, not the easiest fight. It's not really hard either, though. We have them out of the way. If you just go over here to the left-hand side, this mound, you're gonna have a few items. So smithing stone 7, not a bad find, even now. It is still one of the very final upgrade matches you need. Gap of meat again. Jimmy Human, let's see the smacks. Now this is gonna take you somewhere we're gonna go anyways, so I won't worry too much about that. Not now, but next episode. Then over here in this hut, you're gonna find an outfit. Shack of the Lofty, start traveling maiden set. Then with all that done, before we get into the invasion, if we were to go all the way over here, this is Consecrated Snowfields, which leads to like the Helix tree. So crazy zone, but this is actually a different area. That's what I mean. It drops down the mountains, but it's, you know, somewhere else. And then that's a hidden area for sure, but it leads to an even more hidden area, way more hidden area. Now I've seen some people do a cheese where they ran and jump off that cliff and they die, and then somehow they pick up at a Stake America over there. So they snuck in. Seems to me to make more sense just to do the quest, but you know, it's there. Now before we do this, I want to check something on my notes. So we won't have to clear these enemies again, guys. We'll just, you know, we'll jump back. But there is something I want to check on my notes very briefly. And that is over here at Jarburg. I want to go talk to Little Dude. Because this quest, I don't think we could do this walkthrough. Because of other enemies were taken out and stuff. It kind of reacts.
I've good. Have you noticed the rare flowers? I asked the villagers if you could, and they said you'd be very. Go on. Who knows?
All right. So I think we can do it. So the thing of it is this invasion we're gonna do. I think if you do this invasion first, you're gonna be locked out of finishing up this quest line we started a very, very long time ago, right? So with that, we have to try to fit this quest in first, and maybe it can be done single playthrough. Because the same guy we're fighting is supposed to be the potentate for here, or it's like his brother or some weird shit. So you have to do this in a very specific order. Now, usually I've always done 2 different playthroughs because of the fact it does, you know, interact with one another. But I think we might be able to pull this off. So let's give it a shot. So what you gotta do is just pretty much run, grab all this stuff, then we'll go talk to him again. We might have to rest, we'll see.
Go on. Who knows?
We just did, buddy. There's not enough to pick. So we gotta rest.
Say, cuz, have you
met
used to live here with us?
Alexander.
I asked to go with him. So, if you see, he's big. Uncle Alex, my home is. I suppose that's so. I'm actually a warrior jar, and I'll have to leave. Uncle Alexander, my home is of. I suppose that's. Uncle Alex, my home is of the past, and the past. I suppose that's part of.
All right. Let's rest again. Eventually, this guy's gonna be here to be their potentate. Village gets attacked. I think he dies defending
do you
it.
know what they hunt us?
Yeah.
This village is that you should. I hope Uncle Alex. Those awful poachers.
Rest. We could have been doing this over time. This is a quest that's really not that rewarding. You just happen to forget about it, you know, so much. So we're kind of just squeezing it all in at the end. Once again, I'm not 100% sure we can get this done.
Awful.
Yeah, I think until we see Alexander again, we can't, which would mean you'd have a choice. Yeah, you guys are gonna have a choice to make. So, with this quest line, what's gonna happen is you can't do the invasion that we're about to do for the weapon and armor set up here, because that will, for sure, kind of reacts with it, right? So it'll lock you out of it. But if you wanted, you could just not do that invasion. Wait until you see Alexander at the final boss here at Mountaintop of the Giants. Wait till you complete his quest line in Fair Missoula, which isn't even on the map yet. It's like over here. Then you can come back at the very end of the game and follow the quest line through, and it'll get you a talisman, which increases the damage of throwing pot items. It's not that great, but like I said, you have a choice to make. So we'll try rest one more time, but I'm pretty sure until you see Alexander, it's just not going to work. So, like I said, we're just kind of doing testing while we're going through the episode here, because I was curious if we could go out of order, and we'll check back at the end too and see if, since at least we got the quest up to date, if we do the invasion, we might still be able to pull it off. But I would not count on it, guys. You know what I mean? I would not count on it. So you guys can make a choice, or we could just go through and test this ourselves. So we still got to wrap up Mountaintop of the Giants. We still got to wrap up Volcano Manor quest line. This stuff needs to be done. At the end of the day, it needs to be done. It's more important than a talisman that throws, increases damage for throwing pots. Like, it's not a viable build. It's a build, it's not a viable one. So we've already cleared these guys once. We'll go ahead for this invasion. Let's check our time to 45 minutes. I mean, we're good. This is all we had left planned, because from here, what we're going to be doing is going on over up top and knocking all that stuff out next episode and doing Castle Saul. Then we'll be shooting out over the frozen lake and getting to the back half of Mountaintops of the Giants. This region's not like Liurnia. It's way bigger than the other regions, but you're looking at probably 4 or 5 episodes tops to get all this stuff. Where's our, is that it? Yep, there it is. So Oslo is the guy you met at Round Table Hold. You may have met him in the Liurnia out in the lake, saying that someone killed his maid. He's pissed about it, so he's coming for him. He's okay, but he wants us dead. Yeah, he's a dick. He's using quick step. He's got a lot of bullshit going on. If he hits you, you need to heal through it, because his damage output's pretty good. Pretty good. Take that health back. No. Heal. You dumbass. You can't do it again. You only got it once. Damn it, it's just taking a big hit here. There we are. So once you take out a hostile, that's going to wrap up Volcano Manor questline. Gets you a super good talisman. Does the same thing as their main weapon, so you can get that effect on any weapon you want. Doesn't matter. So when you kill an enemy, it gives you health back, which is actually a pretty basic thing in most Dark Souls games. But this one, make you wait till the end and make it a super special item, which kind of is. So Hosto's Pedal Whip, built-in blood loss in that, so Arcane Dex, you can make it even better. Hosto's Helm, Armor, Gauntlets, and Greaves. This is another set. Remember I told you I think ours was like the best set in the game, and there's others that I would consider it to be tied with as far as how good they are. That's this one. There's a few of them that are like this. I guess the gauntlets don't matter so much. But that's, essentially his set. Not bad. Not bad. Is it beefier than ours? It might be a little bit beefier. 61. Yeah, it's heavy. You got 11.8 on that. Ours is 10.1. It's really not even that big of a fucking difference, but I guess it is. Ooh, those leggings look pretty cool with ours. You might rock that. That's different as fuck. Alright, guys. So from here, what we're going to be doing is just jumping back to ancient Snow Valley ruins. And we're going to go and work to our next side of grace, because our next side of grace is like right where we want to be for next episode. So we'll be able to save a few minutes going through, because the only thing on the path forward is one statue we need broken to get the smithing stones. We're going to use one of these golems to do that. And then you have a golden seed. Then from there, we're going to get a side of grace at a crossroads. To the right will lead you to the frozen lake. To the left leads you to the top portion in Castle Saul. Get you some really good stuff. Which is crazy. Some of my favorite intelligence, like melee weapons, like one will do Ghost Flame, and then one will do Ghost Flame 2, or uses like Death Sorcerers. But we get them back to back up here. They're really good, both of them. It's funny because you get them at the same time. There we go. So what you're going to have to do, guys, is lure him over. Whether it's that one or that one, doesn't matter. But regardless, we need them all the way over here. There, and we could have got this on the way up, but if you kind of backtrack over here on the left hand side, you can pick up another golden seed. I think our flask already maxed out, to be completely honest. They might have one more upgrade, I cannot remember. It's 14 or 15. And we still need a few more golden seeds regardless, but I'm pretty sure we're maxed out, and then our tiers will be maxed out before we leave this area. Either way, now that we got that, we're going to head on up for our next side of grace, which will be right here, and this is where we're going to wrap. Because as mentioned, this just sets you up perfectly for the reward. Before we wrap up, we can go ahead and turn this bell bearing. There's another bell bearing like right ahead too. But it's like 2 episodes away, so if we were just going to get it like first thing next episode, I'd wait. But, you know, it's like 2 episodes away because of the top of the mountain and then Castle Saul. So going on over, we're going to turn these in. Oops. So now you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4. The next one for Somber, we get, like I said, in like 2 episodes, then you'll be able to do +6 of either one, which is really nice. And then as far as your Grave Glowvort, you got 1 through 6, and then Ghost, you have 1 through 6. So we need 1 more bell bearing for each of these. We need 2 more for each of these. Actually, 6, yeah, 2 more for each of these. Fair Missoula will wrap up that. But yeah, you pretty much, you know, you got most of it. And then if you go over, because we just picked Blackguards, you can still get your boiled crab, boiled prawn. Then all the other ones really just came from your other NPCs. So Solvis for spells, Dops for spells, D's for Golden Order incantations, EG's for Somber Stones, which these are infinite, you already have, and then these are limited, which you already have infinite amounts everywhere, so it doesn't matter. Carrying Filigree Crest we picked up earlier, so EG's isn't really any good. But yeah, I mean, you picked up other consumables too from Bellbearing Hunters, so, I mean, you guys should have quite a bit going on as far as your stuff. And we've already completed Dung Eater's shit in full, so as you see, he has now moved on. We have that ending unlocked. We have all of our endings unlocked if we cleanse ourselves, because we're still frenzied. In fact, if you removed your helmet, you see your eyes kind of that gold color. That's because you're consumed by the frenzied flame. So we'll be locked in for that ending, but we will actually need to back up our save to get the other, so we can cleanse ourselves and, you know, see that through, if you will. I'm wondering if there's anything else we want to bring up. How many 9s do we have while we're here? I got 2. We'll probably wait off. I want to get my my catalyst a bit higher. So bear bearings, rank. I can't think of anything else we've missed, but I do want to make sure. Ronaldo's down there just for respects. Oh, I cannot believe I almost forgot. Volcano Manor. So remember, Rykart's dead, Tanf's dead. We killed him early. Then I'm sure I'm gonna have to hear from 1,000 people. Well, oh, now you can't get your rewards. Check it out. So if you kill them, they're not going to give you a reward. But guess what will? You can go back to the drawing room table. Ta-da! Taker's cameo. So Taker's cameo is going to give you health from defeating enemies. Really cool. Really cool. That puts us at our 55-minute mark. Then yeah, everything here is kind of... Alright, so everything is 100% done to this point. But I do like to confirm from time to time. It's important being so close to the end because, like I said, mountaintops of the Giants, consecrated snowfield, Halleck Tree, Fair Missoula. That's it. And we're already almost halfway through mountaintops of the Giants after next episode. So I want to make sure we have nothing left behind. But with that, we will be wrapping up at the freezing lake. So let's go ahead and fast travel back. Then next episode's an important one too because we're gonna get the second half of the Halleck Tree Medallion. Get you some really dope weapons for intelligence, and also get you guys one of the hardest trophies to get, which is all legendary spells and incantations. You only have one legendary spell left before we're able to pick that up, and that is also in next episode. So, Mountaintops of Giants, very important region. Either way, guys, with that, we're going to wrap on up. So, as always, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. I hope you're enjoying the game. Please subscribe for more walkthrough, and we will catch you back here shortly.